Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going through 3 stocks I'm looking to trade and play this upcoming week. Also going to be going over last week's picks, how they performed, and the updated thesis on those, and just overall what I'm looking to do this week in the stock market. If you're new here, each week on Sunday, I usually throw out about 3 trading ideas of plays that have very good risk reward, low risk, high reward potential plays, and that's what I look for out of these trades. Some of these trade ideas are more watch list ideas until the setup does present itself, like we'll talk about. Some of these are short term, some of these are long term, but I have a different thesis that I go through for each one. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at last week's stock picks, how they performed, and the updated thesis on those. Okay, so the first stock I talked about last week was Innovative Payment Solutions, ticker symbol IPSI. This is a technical setup and catalyst play. I'm looking to swing this one still, nothing has changed, still targeting 20 cents, and my stop loss is still if it breaks below 8 cents. The uptrend is looking good. We got 2 big PRs this week, and overall with this play, we're waiting for the big PR of the app release. Once that app does get released, that's going to be the biggest catalyst for this stock and can send it way higher in my personal opinion. So personally, I'm still holding my full position in this stock and adding dips along the way. And that was up about 20% in the past week. So next up, last week I talked about Wish, ticker symbol WISH. So this is a play I'm waiting for the breakout and the confirmed break of the falling wedge on this one. So we did start breaking the downtrend last week with all the short squeeze hype, as Wish is pretty heavily shorted as well. But we have not gotten that full breakout yet. I'm looking for confirmation above $8.50 to get into a full position. But this past week I did add a starter position and will look to add more if this reversal does confirm over that 8.5 level. And then finally last week we talked about Corsair Gaming, ticker symbol CRSR. As a long-term value play, this is one that I'm looking to add dips on. I added a good amount of shares on Friday for the long term, and this is one that I'm just not worried about what happens short term. I think long term stock is worth $45 plus, so I'm looking to add any pullbacks or dips on this one, and when it does finally break above that $35 level, that's when I think we see the start of the new uptrend. Alright, so those are the plays from last week. Let's go ahead and get into this week's picks. Alright, so the first stock that I'm watching this coming week is Smile Direct Club, ticker symbol SDC. So this stock has recently been pretty beat down. It's about a $3 billion company, and this is a technical setup and short squeeze play. So first off, we can take a look at the short float. We can see that it does have a 29.69% short float, so essentially a 30% short float, which is pretty heavily shorted. It is one of the heaviest shorted stocks in the market, and as we can see on the chart, there's been a ton of short squeeze plays running. Smile Direct Club did get some excitement last week and did start running a little bit, but it has not ran near as much as some of these other short squeeze plays. Another thing we can see on the chart, it has a history of bouncing off that $7 support range as we saw earlier last year. And we just saw a couple weeks ago bouncing off that $7.20 support level after that big gap down, which we'll talk about what happened for that gap down in just a second. But when these gap downs happen, 90% of the time these gaps do end up getting filled. And in my opinion, that's what we're going to see soon on Smile Direct Club, ticker symbol SDC. So looking for a breakout above $9.30 for this stock, for the gap fill up to the mid $10 range. And one more time frame we can look at is a 20-day chart. So in the 20 days, we can see it has been holding this short-term uptrend, and the dips have been getting bought up. We did get another dip on Friday, so I'll be watching on Monday if this dip does end up getting bought and it does hold this short-term uptrend. So the reason for this big gap down that we saw a couple weeks ago was the news of the cyber attack on Smile Direct Club. So this is rumored and likely to cost the company $15 million in their forward guidance revenues. So instead of their future revenues for the next quarter being in between $205 and $215 million, those are going to be knocked down by $10 to $15 million each, which that is a good amount. That's about 5% of those revenue numbers. But was that enough to drop the stock price 20%? In my opinion, that is a big overreaction for just this short-term issue. That's not going to be lasting with this company, and it's just going to affect the number short-term, not going to affect the company at all long-term. So what I'm looking for out of this trade is I want to see if the short squeeze plays do keep on running this coming week. As we know, the short squeeze plays, all the meme stocks have been the hot sector. If the short squeeze plays do stay hot this coming week, I'll be looking for an entry in Smile Direct Club. I also want to see if that uptrend holds, and I also do want to see a test and breakout, fill that gap up to $10.50 on the gap fill. I do not have a position in this stock as of now, but we'll be watching for these things for potential entry this coming week. Alright, so now getting to the next stock. The next stock I'm looking to play this coming week is Huya, ticker symbol HUYA. So this is a Chinese streaming company. It's essentially like the Twitch of China. So it's valued at $3.5 billion as a company. And my thesis on this stock is the technical setup, short squeeze play as well, and then also a very strong fundamental growth company. And we'll be looking at those numbers in just a second. All right, so first off, like I was saying, this is heavily shorted stock, very under the radar as well, with a 31% short float. So once again, if short squeeze plays do keep running, keep an eye on some of these under the radar plays that have not ran yet. The stocks that haven't ran yet, in my opinion, will be the next to run if short squeeze plays do stay hot. Alright, so now getting to the technical setup, we can see the stock is very beat down. Recent highs at $36 per share and is now sitting right below $15 per share. Alright, so now taking a look at the multiple year chart, we can see that this stock has been very volatile. These big dips and big drops are pretty common, and each time the stock has dropped a substantial amount, we see it hit that $15 support level and usually bounces right off that level, maybe consolidates for a while, but does end up bouncing. That has happened twice, and we are testing it for the third time. If we do bounce here, which in my opinion is a very good chance, we're oversold and due for a bounce, so that would indicate a triple bottom, and it would indicate a strong reversal pattern, and would have full upside back to that resistance level at $30 per share. The first target for this stock, I'd be looking for $20. If it does reverse, second target would be that $30 level. The fundamentals on this stock are very strong as well. First off, taking a look at the balance sheet. So the balance sheet is measured in won, which is the Chinese currency. So divide each of these numbers by 6.5 and you get the real number if you're measuring this in US dollars. So $10.65 billion divided by 6.5, this equals about $1.7 billion in cash and just about $12 million worth of debt. So huge cash to debt ratio. And this is a very strong growth company with very strong numbers. We can see, taking a look at the income statement, in 2017 they had about $2 billion worth of revenue. They doubled that. Then 2018 up to $4 billion, 2019 $8 billion, and 2020 this past year they had $10 billion. They're continuing this strong growth, and they did recently become profitable in the past 2 years. Taking a look at these net income numbers, they were negative in 2017 and 2018. 2019 they finally became profitable. So if you compare this company, Huya, to a bunch of these other companies, this is very fundamentally undervalued. The technical setup is there back at that strong support level, around $15 per share. It's still growing rapidly. The only downside is that it is a Chinese company, and the market does end up discounting these companies, like we see with Alibaba and other companies just like that. So these companies do end up getting discounted, which is what we're seeing with Huya, but the technical setup is there. It's heavily shorted, and it's very strong fundamentally. I don't see this stock having very much downside from these levels at all, and I do think we see an uptrend very soon back to that $20 to $30 level from where we're at now, right around $15 per share. Alright, so now getting to the final stock I'm looking to play this upcoming week. This is QuantumScape, ticker symbol QS. So this was a recent SPAC merger in the past year. It had a ton of hype, hit highs of over $100. Now it's currently sitting at $28 per share. This is another one of these potential short squeeze plays, sitting with a 22% short float. And my biggest thesis with this one is the overall electric vehicle sector. A lot of these companies have had some big bounces back. If you look around the sector as a whole, pretty much everything except for Tesla, all these EV batteries, all these EV companies, all of these companies are bouncing back in a big way. The EV sector is coming back, and some of these companies have not ran and have not bounced back yet. QuantumScape is the biggest one of these, in my opinion. It has not ran with these others and is going to be due for a run. Is also heavily shorted and did also just recently break its downtrend, which we'll take a look at the technicals right here. We can see that this was setting up in a falling wedge formation. It did break out of this falling wedge and looks to be starting its uptrend from here. So in this stock, we're looking for a break above $30. This is a big resistance level. If it does break above $30, that would indicate confirmation of a reversal, and the next target above 30 would be $40 per share. It is also having positive RSI divergence, which means as the stock was making lower lows, the RSI was making higher lows, which makes for a stronger reversal. So with this stock, if we can get a break above $30 per share, that would indicate the confirmation of the reversal, like I was saying, for a potential run up and move up to that $40 range. And once again, if these short squeeze plays do start running, this is a 22% short float. So if these short squeeze plays do keep on running, this one could definitely start running with these plays, and does have some catching up to do with the EV sector as a whole. Alright, so those are the three stocks I'm looking to play and watching for this upcoming week. First off, Smile Direct Club, ticker symbol SDC. Next, Huya, ticker symbol HUYA. And finally, QuantumScape, ticker symbol QS. If you have anything to add to these picks, if you have any disagreements, leave me a thought in the comments down below. These are trading ideas. These aren't stocks that I'm saying I want to buy and hold years out. These are more short-term swing trades, a couple weeks, a couple months, however long these trades do take to play out. And some of these trades just take a span of days to play out. So I'm just watching for these setups, watching for these potential short squeezes, and just keeping an eye on these plays for potential entry. If you are interested in joining the private Discord chat, the link is down below. Every time I buy and sell a stock, I send an alert to the group. I send out nightly watch lists, and you can ask me any questions. The link is the first link down below in the description. If you want to get free money by signing up on Acorn Investing, Webull, or BlockFi, those links are down below in the description. It does help support the channel. Those are affiliate links, and I would greatly appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to trade smart this week, and let's get rich.